Lucy Edwards, Director of Client Success at VHT Studios. And my guest today is Matt Leone, Chief Marketing Officer at Brown Harris Stevens. Hi, Matt.
Hey, how are you, Lucy?
So Matt and I will go back quite a few years, right?
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure to be here, and especially today when you had a great event, two wonderful companies merged together, Halstead and Brown Harris Stevens. New brand, strong brand, a brand with history. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, first, obviously, the integration of both companies. You have the innovative spirit of Halstead, been around 35 years, always sort of trying to push the envelope, do things that are, unique in the industry. And you're combining it with one of the finest brands in real estate in the country. It's been around since 1873. It's gone through generational ebbs and flows of this industry, but still stays true to itself, still stays successful. If you look at its track record, Brown Harris Stevens, they own the record for highest price ever achieved for a co-op, a resale condo, a resale townhouse in New York City. They are consistently, breaking records, but at the same time, they serve a diverse clientele. They still do a good amount of business under $1 million. And I think the difference that Brown Harris Stevens has always had is that the luxury association with Brown Harris Stevens was never about the property value that we represented. It was always about the quality of service that we provided. I mean, when you go to that 5-star hotel, when you go in to get that luxury vehicle and you purchase it, there is a different customer service experience that one would receive from those types of experiences. And we believe at Brown Harris Stevens, through the training that agents have had, some of the most professional, experienced, knowledgeable agents in the industry, that they approach business in that way. And for that reason, that is the differentiator between us, not just the date that's on our wall, but also the quality of our agents. And we have an amazing ad campaign. I'll even go into it later on with you that is going to be imminently launching in October that really touches on that exact concept. The understanding of who Brown Harris Stevens is, why use a Brown Harris Stevens agent. We've been around for so long, but at the same time, we a lot of the times have had others tell our story instead of us telling our own story, because we, for the most part, have always been a firm that was rooted in discretion, has not been one that, boasting about our success. But I think there is a time where you do have to go out and tell your story. And we're looking forward to doing that starting in October.
I would say Brown Harris Stevens is famous for being a boutique, white glove service, the right approach, that chemistry that you are building between the agent and their clients.
Correct.
And between your management and the agent. So I think that's what separates you from others.
I agree. I mean, I think when we were doing the integration of both companies, going from almost a boutique feel brokerage, still by number, agent count, still sort of lived under that world, to taking on 1,400 Halstead agents and trying to become one firm. The one thing that was said throughout that integration was that the core competency of Brown Harris Stevens that separates us from the rest is that boutique feel, is that you still have to be accessible. You still have to, as if you're a division head, be available to agents. You still have to provide that high touch service and have the resources to do that. And we have have been able to accomplish that through this integration. I think the agents, an enormous retention rate throughout this process that we were actually named by The Real Deal a couple months back as the fastest growing brokerage. Yes, because we combined two firms, but also because we retained most of them. At the end of the day, Halstead agents could have chosen to go elsewhere. Exactly. They had every opportunity to do that. Every agent is an independent contractor. Nothing is binding them to staying here. So many of them bought into this concept, and it really says a lot about the power of what Brown Harris Stevens is and what they want their agents to be.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. How did Halstead agents embrace the new brand? How did they adapt, adjusted? Are they enjoying it? And how they leverage it with their own personal brand to promote themselves as well as to promote their listings?
Well, I think number one, Halstead was a very close-knit culture. What they needed to know immediately was that close-knit culture is not going away. That familial culture that that the directors and the support staff and the teams that support the agent are still going to have that culture feel. That was something that Brown Harris Stevens had already. So that was, once the agents felt that, they felt very good about the experience of moving to Brown Harris Stevens. But I think at the end of the day, most Halstead agents love the fact that they can now own the stats and the panache that's associated with Brown Harris Stevens. They own so many records. The average Brown Harris Stevens agent, I believe, grosses more than any other agent inside this industry in New York City. And then you look at us nationally. The highest average sales price achieved per agent in the country out of 86,000 brokerages, according to Real Trends, is Brown Harris Stevens and remained as Brown Harris Stevens after the integration this year announced. So it states about like they're at a place of great quality, great experience, great knowledge, great professionalism, and the agents that want to be a part of that Harvard of real estate. So many people say that. Stayed here. And the ones that maybe were looking for something else, which were very, very few, moved on. But I think that everyone that's serious about a full-time career in real estate and growing and being around collaborative agents that are willing to work with you and not feel like they have to be doing their own business and this needs to be a competitive environment. If they believe in that, they're here and they're here to stay, because you walk the offices at Brown Harris Stevens and so many agents talk about being here for most of their career, some of them 30, 40 plus years, and they're still going strong. And it says something about what has been built here and what has kept about this brand. I think there's so many brands that over time have gotten so big that have become so watered down and they blend into every other brokerage out there. I believe Brown Harris Stevens stands by itself in some of the traits that it still exhibits and provides to its agents and clients.